it's MK. I thought that I would come on and show you this really awesome set that was offered as a special by Stampin' Up! I had to get my hands on it. It comes with several different 6x6 papers. This one's my favorite, this rose gold shimmery paper. And then on the other side, so there's the really awesome, this one's like paint strokes. That's pretty cool. And then on the other side, the rose gold is pure white, but the others have really awesome patterns to them as well. Okay. And then it also came with a little paint pot that is also called rose gold. And then it came with 2 spools of awesome ribbon. I have to admit, this is the reason why I purchased the kit to begin with. I know, I'm weird. And then it came with these embellishment little dots and spots. I'm not really sure exactly. Ooh, that's really cool. So you'll have to take the film off. I did that on one of them. You have to take the film off in order to get them to shine. That's why they're all kind of dull right at the moment. And then you also received this stamp set, which I have to say I totally forgot that this was included. But you receive a stamp set, and the stamp set comes with a die set. So it also comes with this die set. And the best part, I want to take a few seconds to talk about Stampin' Up's stamps and dies. Okay, so when you go and you get a stamp and die set from any other company, they usually have the outlines for the main images, maybe even a couple outlines specifically made for their sentiments. Okay, Stampin' Up does something totally cool, totally off the wall. So not only do they give you the outline for their stamped images, but they also include extra little bits and embellishments that aren't part of the stamp set. They're standalone dies. And I think for one, that's ingenious, because most people will be like, oh well, I can fussy cut that, or I have a scan and cut, or I can do that. I don't need to spend the extra on this set. Well, if you don't get these really cool extra dies. And I started to notice that at their last catalog, that's what they do, and that's what kind of entices people to get their dies, which I don't blame them one bit. Just saying. I'm just saying. So another thing that you also get with this set are all these cardstock die cuts. And there's several flower clusters, I guess, that come in this one. And then there are loads of like frames and labels in here. Some of them are like just rose gold flowers. That's kind of pretty. So, I mean, you get tons of stuff, and I've been on a label kick lately, so this is right up my alley. And then I went ahead and I die cut some of the images out of the rose gold, just to show you guys what it looks like. And then here's the border strip. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Okay, so why am I showing you this paper? Why am I showing you guys all this good stuff that I don't know if it's available anymore? I apologize. It was a special that they were running as a cute little kit. I think it was only for like a month-long thing, and I snatched it up, I think right at the end. I can't remember. So one of the things that I thought about doing is I've noticed that a lot of girls, which I don't have a lot of 6x6 papers, and when I received this kit I thought, well, I didn't have anything in mind for the 6x6. Let me get that glare out of there. Is that better? This one has a small little glare. I didn't have anything in mind for the 6x6 papers. Like I said, I just wanted the navy ribbon. So I thought about it and I thought, you know what? I want to do one of my workshops and use only 6x6, except of course the 12x12 needed to make the base pages. But I thought that that doing a workshop using only 6x6 might help you guys understand how versatile those workshops really are. And I thought that I would do that here on camera. I'm not going to show you guys any, you know, like the cutting and the gluing and all that stuff. But basically what I did was I went through my sketchbook. This is the sketchbook that I go through and I find, my fingers aren't working. So I go through and I find people's artworks and things like that, and I sketch them out so then that way I can create a cutting guide for myself to be able to duplicate these layouts over and over and over again using multiple papers. It doesn't really matter which ones and which thing, you know, which papers, which anything. Here's another one that's mostly Cricut. But anyways, I go through and I put my sketches in here that I've picked up from, you know, other people's layouts or what I find, you know, like their coloring, their color combination, their design aspects, or their clusters, their embellishment clusters. If I like it and I think that it goes with others, then I put it inside this little book. I create a cutting guide for it to make it easy for me to just go ahead and reference it back, create multiples, and figure out whether or not I'm going to, you know, what papers I'm going to use and stuff like that. So the thing is that I went ahead and I re-sketched out a bunch of designs that I found throughout the book. So what I do basically is I make notes of, on this page, I like this sketch, on this page, I like that sketch. Anyways, I re-sketched it out so I could create a 6x6 cutting guide. But I specifically made, like, for this one, for example, I specifically chose designs that you wouldn't see going all the way across. Now this one here, I would probably do a stripe, because once you have that 6-inch seam, the stripe will make it a little bit more less noticeable. But other than that, everything else is pretty much cut out, you know, within the 6 inches. Now I am going to add a few things. I picked a stencil for my paint pot. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I decided that I'm going to try to stencil it instead of, oh, what's the word? Like add a mixed media background to it, because I don't think this paper says mixed media. I just don't. I also chose another die set for one of the layouts. I'm not sure if you noticed in the sketch that I used hexagons. I also picked out some navy twine, still in its packaging, because that's how I roll. And then I picked out some Shinhan markers. Now I don't have a whole lot of markers, so it's kind of a collaboration between, you know, whatever I have, and you look at it and all the colors of the rainbow are pretty much represented. They're just different. So these are alcohol markers. I think that they are pretty close. They're those blendable type markers, like what you see everybody else coloring the images for. Now I don't plan on coloring any images. My stamp set actually comes with the gradient already in the stamp. So once I stamp it, that image will already be there, which is a bonus. What I intend to use these for are my thickers. So I have these foam thickers by Close to My Heart. Yay, something by Close to My Heart. And I plan on taking these and coloring them to match my, to match my project. And then I picked out 3 colors that I thought went really well with the paper pack. Now I haven't stamped them out yet, so I might have to go change a few colors, but that is what looks like. Looks can be deceiving. And then of course I also have this really awesome washi tape by Altenew. That this was my very first washi tape ever that I put in my cart and purchased, and I just barely opened it for this video. Okay, so I'm gonna follow my cutting guide. I'm going to cut out my papers. I'm going to figure all that out probably off camera just so I'm not so boring, but I wanted to show you guys what I was up to and how I can make one of my workshops work for a 6x6 paper pad. All right, see you soon.
The first thing that I'm going to try to do is check out my ink and stamp a couple of the images. And I cannot believe how gorgeous this leaf one was. I was so stoked, and that blue color is my favorite color by close to my heart. It's called Sapphire. Absolutely loved it. And then I'm going to try the pinks on this flower, and I just can't get it to go. So first I stamp this darker one, and then I want the lighter center. And these are my only two pinks that I really had to play with at the time. And so I didn't like the fact that the center didn't really fill in the center of the flower. So it left a bunch of white spots, and I just didn't like that. And so now I'm trying to match the smaller flower in the image, and I'm trying a couple of markers that I had as well. And again, it just didn't meet my fancy. This is a pink shimmer pin here. I'm just trying to get that pale pink, and I ditched the effort. I couldn't do it. I wasn't happy with it. They didn't match entirely. I don't know. Now looking back, I did see that there was one that I really liked. Anyways, so I have cut out all of my papers for all of these layouts. And again, I think I'm making two double page. Anyways, I give up. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But what I did was I took a couple of the sheets and I just went to town die cutting a whole bunch of hexagons. And I have specific patterns that I can do for like full-size sheets that mix really well, and I don't have to worry about them not, like when they span across, like that particular one right there, when they span across the page to make it full 12-inch page or piece, then I'm able to like make it work, I guess. And I did have to go into my stash and pull out some larger pieces of cardstock in order to map my photos and such. So this one was a piece from a mat stack that was 8 by 12, 8.5 by 12. Anyways, I have no idea. So, and I'm just weighing my options, checking to see what it is that I have, going on and what I like, basically. I also decided that I don't want one photo mat, that I want two. So, and then I took all of that washi tape and I put it behind white cardstock and then cut them all out. So now I have these huge floral die cut pieces. And oh my gosh, they were my favorite. Holy cow, I went to town cutting on those. I just can't, I want to do the whole roll. I love it. So, and basically what this is these are pictures of the speedometer, not the speedometer, but the odometer on my new car. This was back in 2018, by the way. And the whole idea of creating all these layouts is basically to show how I don't have very many miles on the car, so I didn't have very many pictures. The other pictures were of my other car. And clearly I like to drive 60 all the time. So anyways, the whole idea of this workshop is to show how versatile the pages can really be and take all of the same design, but use different photos for every layout. And so that's what I will be doing. I just haven't gotten there yet. So, but again, I am just trying to decide which photo I like more. I cut the one that was 60 miles per hour. I cut that one a little bit too small, and I like a smaller white border on all of them. And I'm going to pop up a few things. And basically, I just kind of sort of fast forwarded because is that a word? I don't know. But I'm going pretty fast on these because I do have, I believe, 6 2-page layouts to go through with just this one paper pack. And so I just threw in little bits here and there. I didn't show you guys all the fussing around with the paper. I didn't show you guys gluing the paper. I thought that you guys wanted to see the final assembly of it all. And I am leaving those 3 blank because I do plan on owning this car for quite some time. And then actually adding more photos. And then the reason why that 22 picture is on top of the 61 is because I want to build flip-flaps. And so I thought, well, for the first, X amount, I will put them all on this square, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next, based on the digit of numbers. And so, yeah, I think the 22 was at 31. So I'm not really sure. I can't remember. And then I decided I was going to do 2 photos because I thought that I took a picture of the original odometer being, I think it was like 6 miles on it. Anyways, but I did not. I could not find that photo, even if I took it. So I decided to keep a 6x6 photo. And then what I'm going to do later is put a white piece of cardstock down for my journaling about my new car. Yeah. So, and then I'm just deciding which cluster do I like? Do I like the larger cluster right there, or, that kind of blends in with those, what are they called? The washi cluster, or not? And then I'm taking my markers and I am creating my own color of thickers. I have a ton of these white thickers, and I absolutely, for one, I love the size. I'm glad that I have a ton of these, but I love going through and coloring them and making them whatever color that I want. So, yeah. So I just found all of my letters. And then the thing about the foam, though, is that the ink soaks in, but you have to wait for it to dry. You can't heat it, because of course then you're going to melt the foam. And so, yeah, I just had to wait for it to dry. And here's where I'm going to measure for that white little square. Not quite done with this layout yet. Thought I would be by now. So that's it. There is the final layout for this particular one. Yeah. Oh, I was just checking to see if that was my old car in the background. That's what I was doing. So here's another use for the washi. I know this is about the 6x6 papers, but it's also how many times I can use this washi on 6 2-page layouts as well. So this one, I'm using it as a background focal point. In my sketch, I had a piece of paper, a 12 by 12 paper going 6 inches on one side and 6 inches on the other. And instead I decided to use washi as my representation. So, and then I also had 12-inch pieces going across the length of the page as well, or the width of the page. And I chose, what am I trying to say? I chose pattern papers. Sorry, it's early. I apologize. I chose pattern papers that, when put together side by side, they looked like full 12 by 12s. So, and I'm just trying to visualize what I like. And again, I saved you me gluing it down. That ribbon down there, I was just explaining that it was one of my daughter's lanyards that she got from college. So, and these are kind of like her very first college photos. And as I'm fussing, I glue and then I fast forward so that way you guys don't need to see all that. I'm pulling out this little ruler so I can get the arc or arch that I want out of the title. I already went through and colored all of my letters. I did a little cluster up at the top. I thought that I was going to make a border using all of that rose gold, what's it called? The rose gold die cut. But I ended up instead just doing the one cluster going across. I didn't like how, I don't know, it just kind of took away from it all. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I'm just adding the title, adding a few bits that I want. Out of her name tag right there, the Nevada Bound, I actually left it as a pocket so I could put the journaling inside there instead. So now this is layout number 3. And this one I am using like the 6x6 as 6-inch pieces, and then I believe 5-inch pieces going off to either side. And then what I'm doing, or what I'm going to do, is the sketch called for those 5 photos, and I didn't have 5 photos. So I kind of just want to show you guys how I compensate for that and still keep the design of the sketch. So, and again, I had everything pre-cut. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to have everything pre-cut. And I apologize that the close-ups are so fast forwardy. I'm already at 20 minutes right now. I've only shown you 3 layouts, but I really wanted to get a lot on this in this video. I wanted to show you guys a ton of layouts, basically. So I've already got my photos attached. I've already got the washi flowers attached because I tucked them behind some of the paper strips, and then I also put them above, so it kind of made it look like they were part of the design that went across. And then the paper strips also aren't glued like right next to each other. I left a teeny tiny little, I don't know if it's a 16th or an 1/8 of an inch little border. So, and those stamped leaves, oh my gosh, they blended in with those washi, those washi, oh my god, they blended in so well. I loved them. Oh, I can't say anything else about them. I just loved them. So, and because this is a retreat that we went to, this is actually my roommate, and funny story, we were talking about her love for watching serial killer like episodes, like documentaries about serial killers. She enjoys watching stuff like that. And I walked in at the time where she was saying serial killer. And of course, the whole joke for the rest of the crop was that I was sleeping with a serial killer. And so that's the first 2 photos. And then we took some real photos because she is adorable. And Sarah Scraps kind of photobombed us. So, but my roommate was Shannon. She's crafty over on YouTube. So yeah, I had a blast. Oh my gosh. Those Easterners just know how to party. So, I thought that I was going to use some words from those washi thickers, but instead I just used the elements. Okay, layout number 4. I am using the ribbon as, like wraparounds for this cardstock. And this cardstock is super old cardstock. I have to tell you guys that I have a hard time using this type of cardstock. And even though it looks plain for you guys, but when you flip it over, there was a good picture of it there. When it's flipped over, they're hearts. They're teeny tiny little hearts on white hearts on the pink background. And for me, they are super hard to use because they're perfectly aligned hearts, and they're not small enough to be dots in my mind. I don't know, they're just really super hard. But on the colorful side, they are embossed hearts. So they're tone on tone, but the hearts are embossed. And so here was a perfect way for me to use up this paper, because I have about 3 more pieces of this paper. And what I can do basically is, use them as a border, and nobody will even know that they were hearts. Yay, go me. So I pulled out a different die, something that I did not show in the intro, in the introduction, because this was a winter layout. And so I basically had this almost, it was like flocked, Flock. It was flocked white cardstock. And so when I cut out the snow, it really looked like it was snow. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool based on the die that I ended up using with it. So, and I thought that I wanted my title to go with the snowflakes, kind of at that angle, that flow of the snowflakes. But I didn't really like how Angel looked so spread out when it was on that hump. I don't know why. Some words look really good and some words don't. And I think it's that A, in all honesty. That A just throws the whole thing off because it is at an angle already. And so it just looks like I don't know. I'm making stuff up by now. But yeah, out of these colors, I'm making a winter layout. And I thought that was pretty cool. Here's layout number 5, where I'm kind of cheating, and basically the paper is supposed to look like it goes behind all the photos, where clearly it does not. And I used the twine here, where the twine again was not included in a kit, and I'm supposed to have 3 photos going up, but instead I only have the 2. So I'm going to make those 2 photos fit and work with my layout. Yeah, that's basically what I'm explaining right there is, that I take the layouts and I make them adapt for me. And then here I'm building a cluster base. I pulled out some stuff from my stash. By now I'm running out of supplies. And so I'm kind of like, what do I do now? And so I took tiny little corrugated strips from my stash and basically made the title. I mean, that layout went together so super fast. It's gone before I'm even done talking about it. Now here's another layout where, again, I trick your eye and make it look like I used full-size pieces of paper. But where my photos go and where my ribbon goes and all that stuff, it, as you can see, I made the paper look like it was a full 12 by 12 piece of paper, or I guess in this case 10 by 11. I also laid out the photo mats in a way to cover up some of those joining seams as well. So it's just one of those pre-thought little aspects for it. Now I do have to apologize. I laid out all my photos. I had all of this done, and then I shut the film off because this ended up being quite the layout. I ended up deciding that I didn't like any embellishments that I had picked out, so I went and made my own. I ended up deciding on a different title. I mean, this layout went into so many different directions that I just shut the camera off and thought, no, I'll bring it back and talk about it later. So yeah, I'm just at this point done recording this part. Okay, so I am back with my finished layouts, and I wanted to show you guys my title. And what my title is the saying that is on the top on the dome. And what I was originally going to do was cut out the pictures that I have and kind of have it like going like this all the way down. But I really didn't like it, and I didn't catch all the words like fully, like tyranny and against aren't one word. So that didn't really work for me. But I used up, and I didn't use up, but I ended up using 3 different fonts. So these are the fonts that I have been working with, that I've been trying to use up and only use these throughout, but there were 2 layouts where I did not, this one and the other one. So I did not fully use those up, and then I included this tiny little, they go like that, this tiny little font, and that's how I ended up with the smaller letters.
And then I went and I pulled this out. Now these, the backs, all the stickies came out, so I had to glue all of those down, but no big deal. Still looks great, I think. And I went to my Cricut, typed in cherry blossom, got these, made a few of my own branches just because I wanted some bigger ones and some different. I didn't want them all to look the same. I backed my my die cut here. I backed it, actually I ran it through my scan and cut, and I put it on a piece of paper that I wanted to cut. I kind of tacked it on there, threw it through my scan and cut, and then told it I wanted a border, and then I took the image off and it cut through, it cut my border on the background that I wanted. Let me bring that up forward so you guys can see the border that was cut out and all of my cherry blossoms. Okay. And that's about it. That's all I did. I tucked in some over here just so it looked cohesive. I was going to have one go all the way through like this, and then that way it looked like it was on both pages, and I was actually going to cut it like right here. But I didn't want my title to be bumpy. I didn't want my title to be on top of this, so I decided not to. This is how it ends up. And then for my flip flap, what I did was I took a 12 by 12 one. I am sorry, it was here. Here it is. I took a 12 by 12 pocket page that has 6 horizontal or vertical. Oh my god. I have 6 horizontal photos, and I trimmed off these ones. Now I don't throw these away. I do use these in certain elements, like I could use them as a shaker pocket, the acetate for a shaker pocket, or I could use this as another element in, you know, like a pocket page, things like that. So I don't ever throw those away, but I put all of the sayings that are inside the building on one side, and then the other side I did the architecture, and I have my picture with a date on it. It's not the best picture in the world, and then of course my picture, again, I thought it went with the architecture. So this will sit inside my album like this. So when you look at this side, this is what you'll see, and when you look at the other side, this is what you'll see. So I kind of like it because it's all wordy on this side, and then it's all images on this side. So I hope you liked this. I will bring back all of the layouts so you can see them all together and how different each layout turned out, even though we created all of these pages all at the same time. I did not scrapbook them all at the same time because of the fact that I had to find pictures and things like that. But I did find pictures, but I didn't go with, oh, I have to have pink and I have to have blues and I have to have a certain theme throughout all of my pictures. So I can't wait to bring all the pictures or all the layouts back and show you how different they all turned out. All right, thanks. All right, so I thought I would do a flip through really quickly of all the layouts that we created using a 6x6 paper pad, a couple pieces of cardstock that were 12 by 12, and what we have left over as far as product. So the first one that I wanted to show you was this layout from March of this year, so 2019. I didn't put the date on it because I'm sure the date is on one of the layouts. This is like one of the millions of layouts. And the very last thing that I always do is, the very last thing that I always do is my enamel dots or anything like that. Now these ones are almost like mirrored little circles, but I did put these little stickies on from the sticker sheet at the exact same time. I think I kind of forgot that I had these little stickers for this page right here. So that is this one. And the only reason why I'm doing this flip through is to show you guys that this is one I don't want to, I guess it's an event. This is one event in my life, and then I want to show you all the other layouts that worked really well with this paper pack and how they changed the paper pack's tone. I guess is the best way I could say that. So here is another one that I did. Now here is my, where I again did the little dots. You guys can't really see them. They're almost like mirrors. There we go. Yeah, they're almost like mirrors. So, and then this was my daughter's like badge, and I kept it in the pouch, and then I was able to add a little tag within that little pouch. So I liked that. Again, I tried to use the same font throughout the entire. Of course, on my other layout, I did not. I wanted to fill up that space where I had no photo. So I tried to find a large sticker word. So that was that one. Here's another one that I did. Now this one will be filled out as the car gets older, and so eventually I will have multiples on top of multiples, and this is where flip-flops come in. I use that same font again, same thickers, and then I'll write about my beautiful new car. Again, this is 2019. The last layout was 2018. Or this one is also 2018. I apologize. This was 2018 at the same, yes, okay. Sorry about that. Again, I didn't put any of the miles on there. So this is 2015. I actually put down the date on this one. And I ran out of E's, and so I changed a 3 into an E. Again, trying to use up my letter stickers. And I love how this paper matches my daughter's jacket. And it's not necessarily about her, it's still nature and outdoors, because so are the flowers and such. Okay, and again I added those little mirrored circles. I have no idea what they're called. They're almost acrylic. That's how they felt like to me, is acrylic. So that's that. And then I have this one. This one came with an insert. Now this was from 2010. I added, what are these called? Wow, that's not even glued on. Go me! I added cricket images just because I wanted the cherry blossoms, and I had this image with these photos, which is something that I always do, well, something that I started doing. Oh golly, when did I start doing? I started doing that like 2009, something like that. But anyways, I still love how it turned out. Again, the acrylic pieces, and it is from 2010, and I had so many pictures that I did an insert. Now when I put this in the page, or in my album, this will go right in between the two and become part of the 2-page layout. So that's why I call it an insert. It's because it is inserted into a 2-page spread. And last but not least, I have my winter one. So I took an entirely floral layout and created this winter layout. I added the little stones just in between. I thought that it was already too busy as it was, so I did it that way. But I wanted to show you guys how to attach flip-flops. I don't think I have done that yet in a video. And since this one is ready to be put in its album, I pulled out my 2-page protectors. They are going to go like this. Let me put these. You put your layout in, and then you take you take your photo or your flip flap. I like to take this off just like that. And this is the outside of the page protector that I am working on. This mat is a hair bigger. Excuse my head. Okay, and it will go like that, and then I just lift this up, take my bone folder, and rub this down. Normally I don't have that this dimension underneath it. But once you rub in once you rub down the adhesive, it becomes see-through and you can't see it. And it becomes to where you can't really see where it's attached. And then you've got your extra page and you've got this interaction for people to have fun with. So I thought that I would show you guys. I'll do it one more time. I just peel off the sticky strip. Now, they don't have to go this way. These can also go on the side, depending on the orientation of your photo. Mine just all happened to be up and down. I think it was the year of me taking up and down photos. So here is another one. I will lay this right down in here. And the best part is it's very, very, very forgiving. So even if I did, before I burnish all this down, I can still lift it up and no residue will be on there. So there we go. Okay. And that is one of my layouts, and I love the embellishments in the back, and so they're kind of interacting with the flip-flops as well. And then I wanted to do the other one really quickly. And then I will put these right in my page protector. Or right in my photo album. They're already in a page protector. There we go. Now I'm not using the pointing part of my bone folder, and I'm using the side of it. I'm not using the pointy part. Because you don't want to get that hard crease from poking into your page protector. Sorry, it's apparent that I cannot do two things at once. I apologize. Okay. And this one. We'll go right there, and I need to put the mouse pad back in. Oops. This one is going to be covering up because they are on top of each other. So we'll just cut this bit off, like so. That will hold that down. You finish burnishing it. Get this out so you guys can see. So it'll look like this, and then of course that one's kind of tucked under. I just made this one for the journaling because I didn't really leave, yes, I left journaling here, but I kind of liked how the journaling, there's not much to say or anything like that, so there we go, and there is the 2 pages. Lots of samples on how to alter your pre-cut layouts in order to fit what your needs are. Again, I obviously don't match my photos to my paper collection. I don't sit there and think, oh, what pretty little princess paper. I have no idea what people see when they see papers, but for me, I love the color combination, I love the design elements, I love creating, and so I don't think about the photos at all. I mean, there's no pink whatsoever in these photos, but there's a little bit of blue tone. Did I plan that? No. I think the only one that I did plan was my daughter's jacket on the hike, just because I wanted to do an outdoorsy layout as well as all of these other little girly layouts, and I kind of wanted to show how it doesn't have to be a girly layout. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing how to take one of my workshops and turn it into a 6x6 workshop. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time.